So thank you, KingMakers IAS.
I'm happy.
Okay.
I wish
Thank
you
you.
the best.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, KingMakers IAS. I would really like to thank Mr.Adv Agarwal sir for helping me and guiding me in the interview stage. So thank you, KingMakers IAS, because these interactions were very helpful in finding the direction.
Hello aspirants, welcome to the session of KingMakers IAS Academy, and I would like to welcome you all to get to know more about history as GS, history as optional, whatever you like. So let me just go in a little bit on my introduction. Yes, I have written mains and appeared for interview, and that was between 2008 and 12. So that is my UPSC and the encounter with UPSC, and okay, things, hard luck, things did not work out. And 2006, I was selected in the army, Indian Army. And again, some physical problems came, which I had to quit the academy. And yeah, ever since I continued on my LLB, and it's almost 15 years now since a lawyer, family lawyer, and I'm also associated with various academies across India, as well as KingMakers IAS. Strong, or my strength is in the area, just like Sir has told, ancient, medieval, and world history. There are academies where I handle art and culture also, but still, ancient, medieval, and world, I consider myself, because, like we say, history is always like his story. Many faculties have always heard them say, history is learning about the past. Well, I have a serious objection for that. It is not learning about the past. I am sorry to say, because history, when we see, when we study in school, accepted, history is study about the past. But once we come into UPSC, we have to be a little more cautious about what we are handling. So precision gives us marks. Just 1 mark is enough, or half a mark is enough that you lose. You go, IAS becomes IPS. So we cannot compromise the idea of losing even a mark. So history is not study about the past. History is all about, what can we say? The father of history, Herodotus, the father of history, wrote a book which was called Historia. Historia in Greek means enquiry. So basically, the attitude of a historian, the attitude of a archaeologist is all about enquiry. We are basically in an investigation. His story. Why not her story? Because again, we can say the world has always been patriarchal. We are trying to change that. We are trying to be equal. The real feminists are there who are working their days and nights to get the concept of equality that is essential for between man and woman, because God created us equally. Let us accept and move on. So the patriarchal societies always claimed on the idea of him. So male that comes by. So his story was what comes up. So that is how it's not study about the past, it is inquiry. So please keep this understanding. My classroom will be very unorthodox. So there are faculties who teach us very orthodoxically. I am not a person like that. I would like to go like, we are rushing an elephant, how they rush into the jungle. It's like, you just ditch everything down. You don't care for anything, but everything belongs to you. I always have a belief in that same concept. I mean, like, history is not an organized subject, yet history is the most organized. And it's like, total opposites of what I'm saying. So we can say that if when we come into UPSC, you are a UPSC aspirant, as your lecturer, I will tell you, if you are going towards UPSC with a serious mind, history should be absolute. History should be conducted in absolutism. History should be looked up with watertight compartments. That means you should always remain within syllabus. We can go inside history like the elephant, which I do. Don't become that elephant. It is a very beautiful subject. It is a very interesting subject. It is a very evergreen subject. All these concepts. It is like, see, personally, when I speak, I'm here to orient about the subject. I'm trying to get the scare out of all that who you are listening. Because there is a general tendency, history, everybody fears. Sir, it is a vast subject. It is a very cruel subject. We can't understand, we can't remember all these dates, we can't remember all these names. I can absolutely tell you, it's a wonderful subject. What is the reason? Because you can remember the names, you can remember the dates. There is no trouble at all. There is no trouble at all. Because, again, what I said, if you are going to become the elephant, history is going to swallow you up. The jungle will swallow you up. But if you are going to keep a watertight compartment, or else, let me explain in a more understanding way. Say, imagine, okay, history, war. We learn about a lot of wars. When we learn history, it is the history of wars. When we learn art and culture, it is the history of trade. Understand this? History, direct history, when you come by, you learn mostly history of wars. When we come into art and culture, you learn history of trade. How beautiful it is. So, trade, people, you are coming in contact with me. I'm coming in contact with you. Not that you are going to learn from me. I'm also going to learn from you. Maybe you are from Jammu and Kashmir. I'm basically from Kerala. So, a person from Jammu and Kashmir, a person outside Kerala can teach me many things. Life is always a journey. Life is a journey where we learn. We are a student in that journey. So, learning never ends. And especially UPSC aspirants, once you are a serious aspirant of UPSC, our learning never ends. So, I was telling you one thing, how to understand the concept of UPSC and history. Imagine yourself as a horse in a war. You must have seen movies, you must have seen cinemas, dramas. When the horse is shown, first thing that we need to understand is the horse wears an eye patch. That is how you are going to. The rider on you is UPSC. Your objective, where the rider wants to go. The rider is syllabus. You will go only where the syllabus dictates. You will go only where the syllabus wants you. Otherwise, what is happening? The subject is like a jungle. The subject is like an ocean. You will not know where you are going. Let me give an old saying for that. When the ship doesn't know to which port it is sailing, no wind is favorable. If the ship does not know to which port it is sailing, no wind is favorable. Keep that in your mind. As long as you are in UPSC stream, this should be there. This idea should dominate your head. And for the subject of history, syllabus matters a lot. Okay, that I hope you have understood that concept. Always keep tight. We will get now again after 2014. After 2014, there are a lot of changes that is happening in history. History is generally considered to be a static subject, not only fact. That is true. Fact can only be asked. Hypothetical claims cannot be asked. Okay. I can tell you like this. Say, for example, for a history question or a history statement to become a fact, what should be the main understanding is you will submit your hypothesis to the committee where historians and archaeologists will come. That is a place called as ICHR. ICHR, Indian Council for Historical Research. Indian Council for Historical Research. They are the ones who will select your proposals, and they are the ones who will, accept whether what you said is right or not. If they accept it, your submission will go on to become a historical fact. India. Now, when it goes to world level, there is another committee. That committee is called as ICHR, International Council for Historical Research. They will accept your findings or submissions are going to be accepted as a fact in the world level. I hope I'm clear in that part. So, but recently, last 15 years, things have been changing a lot. There are a lot of hypothetical concepts which are coming by. A lot of people are saying a lot of different things, and people are confused in the subject of history. Even though history is a static subject, no, it has got its own dynamism. So it's not, it has become more dynamic than any other subject because informations will come from here and there and here and there and here, and everybody is confused what to do. So that is why, as a lecturer in UPSC stream for the last 14 years, I'm in this stream, lecturing in the stream for last 14 years. So my experience, my expertise, what I suggest is that limit yourself to syllabus. I'm not going to talk much or something like that. We have certain things. Rest we will deal in the classroom. I believe our real effort should be shown in the classroom. So when you come into the classroom, you will see what it is. But what I need to address to you or advise to you before you come into the classroom are these certain things. Okay. So you now know you have to become a war horse. Wearing that patch, the shadow patch, where you are not distracted by anything else. Okay, that's the first thing. Then, second concept that you need to understand. See, when you come to UPSC, and history is one of the most important factors. Why history? What is the need for history? When you look at the concept, it's a very charming paper. It's a very charming paper. Understanding history, usually I put a slide in my classroom. My first slide in the classroom, for the last 15 years, or okay, slides I have started using almost like 10 years or something. First slide I put is of Thucydides. Thucydides is another historian who was a contemporary of Herodotus. Thucydides says, history is philosophy taught with examples. Life is always philosophical. My dear students, my dear aspirants, life is all, and that philosophy, UPSC aspirants have a lot of those philosophical aspects because we have gone through a lot. So what we understand is history is philosophy taught with examples. What examples? We have plenty of human examples. So any subject you must have, see, until few years before, any subject you wanted to take a PhD, before PhD, you should go for an MPhil, Master of Philosophy. Say, for example, chemistry, physics. Why those subjects should have philosophy? They are absolutely science subject, right? Why should they have philosophy? Still, chemistry also, mixing of some colors, mixing of some chemicals, they also have philosophy. So, history is the mother of all subjects. The mother of all subjects has the most grandest of all philosophy. The most grandest of all philosophy when you talk about the same. Now, let me say why that comes. When you are an administrator, police administration, what's it, military administration, home administration, agricultural administration, IAS can be thrown into any department. So when you are an administrator, you cannot handle a problem individually, because that problem would not have happened at that point of time, at that point of second, at that particular place. It has not happened like that. The origin of that problem will be somewhere else. So you need to fly like a bird. We call that in history the bird's eye view. The bird's eye view of a problem. I am an expert in criminology as well. In criminology also we will say bird's eye view we have to. The bird's eye view means how eagle sees the ground. It is flying, it is soaring so high. It can even see a rat or a snake or a frog. That is the observation of an eagle. The eagle is what? You will. So you have to be a warhorse. Now I am bringing you as an eagle. So both characteristics you should imbibe. And history is taught because the bird's eye view will give you a clear perception of what the problem is, where it has happened. See, an explosion. Now we know that as we are talking, there is Israel and Palestine is in war. An explosion happening. The explosion is not the thing. There is somewhere, somebody pressed a button from somewhere else where the rocket has been launched or the missile has been launched and the explosion has happened somewhere else. Same is history. Same is history. So an event happening today, I will give an example of Israel itself. 50 years before, the Yom Kippur War. The Yom Kippur War, the day of memory, that is what they generally say. 50 years before, 3 days before, 6th of October, they celebrated Syria and Egypt attacked Israel. Today, Hamas, Israel said, we will never forgive. We will not forgive. So, Hamas attacking Israel is not the reason of today. It is 50 years old. I can give you all the way from biblical concept, Quranic concept, or Torah concept. That is there. I can give you that. But 50 years later, Hamas has launched an extensive where it has killed more than some 500 people. And Israel is launching more than 5,000 missiles has been launched as we speak. So history gives you a larger perspective, a bird's eye view. The bird's eye view is very necessary to be an administrator. You are an investigator. Is one of the main things for the subject that we can. When you come into the classroom, I will give you both the narratives. Like I said, past 10 years, narratives are changing a lot. Narratives are changing a lot. Another example I can give. What is the example? For example, what we can say, there was recently a RTI, a Right to Information Act, which was filed in the court. What was the content of the RTI was Aurangzeb gave or donated monies to temples. Why? Because Kashi Vishwanath corridor. We know that last year our beloved Prime Minister, inaugurated Kashi Vishwanath. A new corridor has been. I visited very recently. I've gone to Kashi some 5 years before, 3 months before I went to Kashi. That area has completely changed. The area has completely changed. So the Gyanvapi mosque case is there. And Kashi Vishwanath was demolished by Aurangzeb. History we will learn. Okay, let us not take it in a religious manner. Problems comes. There was problems in history. And we are learning the problems of history. That is there. Without history, you will never understand international relations. So that comes by. And what we understand with the same is that history, what I was telling was about the, excuse me. Yeah, so we'll continue. So history, when we talk about the Gyanvapi Mosque, so the Right to Information Act, which was filed, did Aurangzeb donate money to temples? Actually, NCRT was, members from the NCRT was They were asked the question, did whatever you write is correct or not? And they were asked to bring the evidence out. Because Mughal historians were there, they wrote, to full stop and comma, they wrote everything. Whatever their masters did, everything was written down or, presented in that form. NCRT told there is no evidence Aurangzeb donated money to temples. Then court asked, why do you write it then? What is the reason to write? So what was told was to bring in more secularism. So that is kind of an absurdity. So the court asked the NCRT, strike it down. So from next year onwards or coming years, there might be a lot of editing, which we can see in the NCRTs. Understand? UPSC lecturers always say, we have to be very careful about NCRT. NCRT is considered as a foundation. So that is very important. Next year, a lot of additions are going to come by. And again, BJP government, after they're coming, they have told that more kingdoms will be brought in. Like Rajputs, there are 36 different Rajputs available. 36 different Rajputs will come. Ahoms will come. And Travancore. Because Travancore, where I am, I said I am from Kerala, I am from South Kerala, from Thiruvananthapuram. So Thiruvananthapuram, when you say the capital of Tirudam, Travancore in English. Travancore was the first native state to defeat a European force. Nowhere in the NCRT textbooks or any textbooks what we academies make is mentioned that. The first native state in India to defeat a European force, Dutch. Dutch was there. And it is from the Travancore army, Travancore infantry, Travancore cavalry. The forces were taken along with the Tamil Nadu. The Tamil forces and the forces from Travancore was taken, merged into one of the first regiments of the Indian Army called the Madras Regiment. Where is this mentioned? Next year onwards, such kind of changes will come. My dear aspirants, any Tom, Dick and Harry can teach. But in UPSC, you should understand one thing. It is not teaching. I would say it is coaching. A good lecturer in UPSC, it is all about coaching. A good academy will look in for coaching. It is molding that's, see, you know to read and write. All we should do is guidance. Where to look? See, for example, look for my example. How I generally say is that I have gone through mains, I have gone through interview, I have gone through several UPSC exams. I have fallen in many pits. I have fallen in many pits. I have a torch with me. That torch I will show you. I can light that torch where I'm standing. I cannot come along with you. I definitely cannot come along with you. But I can torch that and show you that pit, that there is a pit while you go. Watch out for that. Any sincere lecturer will do this for you. Like Bhuminathan sir said, my team was there, or our team, Bhuminathan sir and myself, or the team is there. We are trying to show you the same. Not that we will not teach you or something. Definitely we will teach you. But this is what you should understand. What is the difference between us and the others also you should understand, right? So this is our edges. So when we look at the edge, what we say is that when we look at the edge, what we say is that we are pioneers in coaching. Teaching anybody can do, my dears. Teaching anybody can do. But what to know, what not to know is very important. Okay. So as we are coming, as I said, one more thing. History is the mother of all subjects. So when we look at the concept of history, how does it become mother? Because every subject has a concept called as history. Physics or chemistry or astrophysics or literature, anything you take, there is a history for everything. You have a history, I have a history, everybody has history. So when you approach the history concept, what comes by? Again, when you look at the syllabus, now let us assess this in the form of syllabus. What all are there? GS, ancient, medieval, modern, post-independence, art and culture. These 5 modules are there in history, Indian side. And there is a world history. Understand, optional is much more easier. Do you know that? Nobody tells you about that. Optional is much more easier. Post-independence is not there. We will have to learn only up to, actually GS has more history than history optional. And history, what we know is, history comes in for what? Ancient, medieval, modern and all we say, up to Nehruvian era, 1964. Jawaharlal Nehru dies in 1964. It is only up to 1964 that you have to learn. Optional is much more easy. Very clearly, watertight compartments, because paper 1, paper 2, total in optional, total number of marks is what? 500 marks. 250, 250. Paper 1, 250. Paper 2, 250. What is there? Section part A, part B. Paper 1. Paper 2, part A, part B. So when you look at the part A, very watertight, ancient India. Section A, part 1. Section B, medieval India. Paper 1 over. Paper 2, section A, modern India. Paper 2, section B, world history. Game over. And do you know one important one more thing? It doesn't have overlapping. You take any other subject, it all overlaps. Somewhere here and there it will overlap. History doesn't overlap. And one more interesting factor about history, when you understand history in more depth, you understand other subjects. Earlier I said IR is important, but you will understand a bit in economy. There is no economics in UPSC. Please understand. Nobody can call economics. We have Indian economy. So economy comes a bit, geography comes a bit, polity comes a bit, more or less. That is there. So it's easy to understand. So when you look at that, first thing I said, it's a very charming. And I said, another thing I said, it is the mother of all subjects. The mother of all subjects will need the support of something else. Mother, when it is old, you need to support. So who supports the children? Who are the children? Geography, economy, polity. I like to joke it like that. You must be understanding what my style is. I always believe in the idea. You should not stress while you study. Should be relaxed. Should be relaxed. Then you will have more retention power. I call the concept as infotainment. You should have information as well as entertainment. So, when you were in LKG, UKG, our teachers made us, I'm not going to do that or something, but they made many things silly. We learned fast. We did not know. We remember that even now. So history, if you learn it in a stories, mine is a narrative method. I go in the form of narration. So that's how I take class. So now when I'm talking about the children of history, what we understand, let's say, for example, let me give you an example. Now, tomorrow when you and I meet in the classroom in Delhi or anywhere in India, but let's assume we are in Delhi. Maybe you are coming from Jammu and Kashmir. Someone is coming from Nagaland. Someone is coming from Gujarat. Someone is coming from Tamil Nadu. 4 extents of India. We are meeting in Delhi. Now, what has happened? I have traveled from Thiruvananthapuram. Somebody is from Chennai. Somebody is from Ahmedabad. Somebody is from, Kohima. Somebody is from Srinagar. All are coming. We all have assembled there. Now, what has happened? Why have you come there in Delhi? Why have I come there? I have come there for money. Let us be honest about it. Let us be very honest about it. I have come there for money. What have you come for? Whether I get money or not, you don't care. What have you come for? You have come for getting what? Your subject. And you want to get into service, IAS, IPS, IFS, whatever you want. And then your monthly salary will become. So every human activity, it is not with me, not with you, with every person. Every human activity is based on money. So me getting out of the sofa that is there in my home, the motivation is money. Livelihood, we all have to meet our two ends, right? So money is the main factor. Rest, everything is associated with that. So first thing, support. So if you have seen a person moving from point A to point B, that was for what? Monetary benefit, resources, economy. If I have got up from my sofa, it is economy for me. If you have got up from your sofa, it is economy for you. So we all met. Economy is the main reason. Economics is the main reason. Then what happened to come to that resource? Now, who is the resource here? What is the resource here? You are my resource. I am your resource. That is why sir was saying resource person, resource person. I am your resource. And I am coming from Thiruvananthapuram. What am I doing? I am traveling through. I have traveled out of many geographical obstructions. What are there? Mountains are there, rivers are there, lakes are there, swamps are there, deserts are there, jungles are there, oceans are there. Everything I transcended to reach Delhi. You also have done the same. You have transcended all these geographical barriers in order to reach your resource. I have transcended all those geographical barriers in order to reach my resource. And we are together. And we are exchanging. What are we exchanging? We are trading. We are trading. What kind of trade happens in the classroom? Intellectual trade. I give you class, I give you information, return I get money. Simplified. Simplified. So, economy, geography, then what happens when I meet you? I will tell my rules and regulations. What should you do to be successful in the subject of history? Some other faculty will come, they'll tell you, what should you do to be successful in that particular subject? They are creating laws. They are creating law. They are creating rules and regulations. In the hint of UPSC, polity. So, economy to geography to polity. Tomorrow you will succeed. You will succeed. We created history. These 4 subjects are there in any general exams that you see. Not only UPSC. The 4 pillar subjects. During my time and all, we used to say 4 pillar subjects. Economy, geography, polity, history. As we have destroyed the earth so much, one more pillar subject has come. In today's words, 5 pillar subjects. Which are they? Environment. Environment. So, 5 pillar subjects are there in any general exam today. UPSC is one of the toughest exams. If you take the top 5 exams in the world, toughest exams in the world, UPSC is one among the top. I guess it is second or third toughest it is. So, and not to be scared of, don't worry. Average people only will, clear. Don't think that 90% above only will clear. No, nothing like that. Are you ready to, are you ready to work? Are you ready to give your 100%? Hard work as well as smart work, 100% it is achievable. Then, one more thing I'll say. I am a person who believes in God. So I believe in this. I mean, like, alavara, wo sir pe jo laga hua hai na, wo bhi hona chahiye. Thoda. So what it is God has drawn on your head matters a lot. So luck. Pray to God that whatever you studied comes for the exam. Then definitely your name will be there next year, 2024 itself. Okay. So coming by, when we look at, one more thing I need to tell. History is a subject 100% that is overlapping. I said history won't overlap. Inside optionals, it won't overlap. But history is a subject 100% that is there for mains. I can break that to you also. 100% if a subject is there for mains. Other faculties have heard them saying 90%, 70%, 80%. I will say 100%. I can explain that to you. 100%. What is that explanation? Say preliminary. Which all modules are like? I gave you 6 modules: ancient, medieval, modern, post-independence, art and culture, and what? Okay, 5 modules are there. That is it. Generally, history will be asked from all these 8. Total coverage answer, not being particular. For mains, ancient and medieval is not. Generally, modern, post-independence, art and culture, world history. 4 main modules. Now, let me give you one example. Let us take the architecture. That is, what's a Buland Darwaza. Buland Darwaza. That is there in Fatehpur Sikri. Fatehpur Sikri was built by Emperor Akbar. Emperor Akbar comes from medieval India. He ruled from 1556 to 1605. 1556 to 1605, he is ruling. He goes to a village called Bayana. In that village, he falls in love with that village. He tells, I want my city to be here. And he builds that in red sandstone. One of the main reasons for that was the Dargah of who? Salim Chishti. Sheikh Salim Chishti, who belonged to who was a Sufi sannyasi. Because of the blessing of Salim Chishti, Akbar got a son, Salim, later on Jahangir. Okay. Now, and he has built Fatehpur Sikri. Okay. That was 1564 onwards. Construction starts. Around 1571, construction is over. By 1585, abandoned. What is the reason? No water. Or water scarcity. 1585, abandoned and gone. Around the nearing 1600s, Akbar will send to the Mughal army, capture Gujarat. Okay. He'll capture Gujarat. Commemorating the victory in Gujarat, he will order the construction of a grand gate, which is one of the tallest in Asia, biggest in Asia, called Buland Darwaza, the gateway of victory. Buland Darwaza. Okay. Now, if Buland Darwaza, imagine the architecture is asked in mains. Architecture, art, culture, architecture. Okay. Through architecture, what subject has entered? Medieval India. I told you in mains, ancient and medieval is not there. Modern, postmodern, modern, post-independence, art and culture, and world history. They should have asked like that, no. But now what has happened? Through Buland Darwaza, Akbar has entered. Medieval India has come. Then medieval India is not there in syllabus, no. Main syllabus. But through Buland Darwaza, medieval India entered. Like this, questions can be asked from ancient India also. Like that, questions can be asked from 1990s. Some event in 1990. Right? History has 100% importance in GS. 100, not 90, not 80. Watch out, keep an eye out for that. And if you have, my dear aspirants, a good history teacher, you will love the subject like anything. I cannot claim myself to be a good history teacher or something like that. And you have to give me the credit. If I am good, you can say, right? That's how things work. So, first thing you need to understand is this is what we in KingMakers Academy do. We are not saying that we are the best, but we can promise you, we will try our best to give you the best. That we are assuring that we can do. So whatever I discussed all this time, for all these, I think that is what an orientation should be, and making you understand a little bit of history, remove the fear from you, remove the doubts from you. Whatever it is there to be, I should address that. So I think this is more than enough. Unwanted talks I don't want to make because that will bore you. So I try to keep myself as crisp as possible. And generally when you speak, not necessary. If you have found me good, we will meet in class. And I'll make sure that you'll have a live class. You'll have a very enthusiastic and energetic, it's like Mathura architecture. The enthusiasm and the vitality and the energy of that Mathura architecture that is there. So my classroom will be more Mathura and Amravati architecture. It's not like Gandhara. So I wish you all the best. And God bless. Godspeed. Thank you.